What's up, guys? This is Corey. Welcome to the show for the ones ready to break the cycle of a fear-based mentality and embrace the extraordinary journey of choosing faith over fear. Welcome to the show. Welcome back if it's your first time, and if it's not your first time, or if it is, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying there. I got confused. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. There we go. Fixed it. Anywho, so for those of you who are new to my podcast, I am aiming to uh, give something value, right? That's what in my life, I believe there is a value exchange. There's so many people out there in this space just putting out fear-based messaging. It's look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh my God, oh my God, God. Especially the right does it all the time. They point out all the things the left are doing. While the left are doing their things, the right is complaining about their things. Now, I'm going to try not to get too deep into politics. However, we do have an election coming up shortly in like 14, 15 months. And politics really shapes our lives, right? Politics is, at least in this country, is supposed to be a bottom up event, right? We're supposed to dictate what we're doing in the grand scheme of things, right? We're supposed to be putting people in office that represent the layman. We don't have a top-down government, right? That's what the founding fathers of this country were fighting against, was a top-down government, and we have a bottom-up. A lot of people have forgotten that, and part of my messaging is to remind people how we get back to that, and how we get back to that is providing solutions, which is what I'm trying to do here when I talk about things. Um, so that's the premise of my show and my messaging. Today's message is it kind of fits in that realm because there's a lot of people doing this, and it's in trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. We've seen a lot of big examples of this, when it comes to navigating the intricate web of human interaction, especially in today's age, because we're, so we can reach out and touch anyone at any time. It's often said that you can't please everyone. And that's this adage holds true no matter not only in our personal lives, but it extends into the reaches of realms of business and marketing and life philosophies. And this we're going to go over that and dive into the nuances of why trying to please everyone is, in fact, it's going to lead to the opposite result. You're going to end up pleasing no one. Um, we can look at a few things that we'll take a few of the bigger brands that are having a hard time right now, and that's Bud Light and Target, right? They have their core audience for decades upon decades. They're established brands, and they're submitting to this DEI, ERG propaganda that's coming down, and they're losing a lot of money because that's not their core audience. When it comes to the movement that is the loudest, I'm going to try to refrain from saying it so I don't get as censored as some of the other people do, but we all know who I'm talking about. When it comes to that movement, it's a very small portion of the population, and most of it is here in the US because you could be the freest here in the US, right? People from other countries who identify that type of way usually come here because they have the freedom to be that. And that's what this country is you have the freedom to be whatever you want as long as you're not trampling on someone else, right? That's the asterisk there. And it just so happens these people are trampling on a lot of other people, screaming loud and saying that they don't have any voice. But they do. They have a very loud voice, and everyone's listening, and we got you. But these brands, these big brands are, bending the knee to this ideology, and they're losing a lot of business because of it. And that's because they're trying to please both sides. And you have the one side who is very loud and saying you need to support us, and then you have the other side who actually purchases product from this brand. So, and when you most of your marketing is aimed towards your layman, right? Like your consumer base. And then you put out, advertisements for this loud group that's over here saying like, "Hey, what about us? What about us?" And they've lost millions, I believe it's billions of dollars now, because they're trying to please both groups, right? And what happens is they pissed off their base consumers, and now the people who are they trying to please don't even purchase their product. So it's ridiculous, you know. In today's fast-paced world where information and opinion are just a click away, the desire to gain universal approval is understandable, right? Like you're trying to reach as many people as you can. That's the whole point of, especially in like professional in business, right? In marketing. Uh, I have a degree in marketing, so a lot of my school, my capstone was I had to research a brand. My brand was Procter and Gamble, and they spend a lot of money on advertising. Procter and Gamble is the parent company to a lot of other brands, so trying to make the most money is, they're spending all that money in marketing, so they're trying to make all that money back, right? It's understandable that they're trying to reach everyone. You know, whether you're managing a business or crafting marketing campaigns or shaping your own identity, the allure to appeal to a broad audience is very, very tempting. But it seems noble. Seems it could be a noble pursuit, but it's riddled with pitfalls. And those examples with Target and Budweiser, those are the pitfalls. It's in business, right? It's very hard to please everyone. That's why, like any business person will tell you, pick a niche and drive it hard, right? And that's what you have to do. And these two particular brands had a niche. They drove it home, right? Like Target is your upscale Walmart, right? You have your Walmart who like that's your 2 a.m. shopper, and Target's like I'm gonna get dressed like I'm going somewhere to go to Target, right? Their prices are a little bit expensive or a little bit marked up than Walmart, but you can go to Walmart in your fucking pajamas. You won't go to Walmart or you won't go to Target in your pajamas, right? Bud Light too. Like I grew up drinking Bud Light, right? That's what we drank at parties and everything. We drank Bud Light. But now, I mean, I don't really drink anymore, but if I did, it wouldn't be a Bud Light. And the last time I had a beer, it was a Modelo. So, who's become the most popular brand because they have their marketing and they're staying true to it. They're not trying to please everyone. They are taking over as the number one beer brand just by sticking to their consumer base. One of the primary challenges of attempting to please everyone is the dilution of your unique identity and message. When you aim to cater to diverse tastes and preferences and perspective, you risk losing the core essence that makes you or your brand distinct. In doing so, you become a faceless entity, and like you become a nobody in a marketplace full. Every marketplace is saturated. And it makes it difficult for your audience to connect to you with a meaningful level, on a meaningful level. Um, you know, what I learned in marketing was like brand loyalty, right? That's all of your efforts in SEO, SEM, and print marketing and all this other stuff, OTT marketing now with digital streaming. All of that is to build brand loyalty. Why would you go through so much and spend so much money to just crush the people who've been loyal to your brand? Obviously I'm talking about business, but this works for personal too. Like, same with personal. You are who you are, right? And I hate this word. I really, really hate it. It's authenticity, right? In this age of digital transparency, authenticity is, I feel it's a prized commodity. People are drawn to individuals and brands that are genuine, unapologetic, unapologetically themselves and stand for something. But trying to please everyone can create a paradox where you appear inauthentic, and a lot of people in the personal, social media space are doing that. You know, Driving for universal approval often leads to the creation of mediocre content or a product. When you water down your content or your products, or to the lowest common denominator, you compromise equality. Period. Point blank and simple. That it's just there is no product when you're trying to give it to everyone. Your content, it becomes bland. It loses its uniqueness, and everyone loses interest. I mean, again, I'll go back. Bud Light is a shitty beer. Just for everyone who drinks beer, like, it's been a joke for a long time. It tastes like piss water, right? But people fucking drink it. It was the most widely drank beer in the United States, right? They had a commercial for the last, I don't even remember how long I can remember, in the Super Bowl, that everyone watched the Super Bowl just to watch a Bud Light commercial. It wa- but now it's like if they put one in there now, I people would change the channel. You know, and what happens is when you're trying to please everyone, especially when you have um an already built consumer base, right? Again, whether it's personal or professional, or whatever, your circle, right? And you change and you start trying to get this all encompassing, environment going on. Like, you lose trust, right? And trust is a cornerstone in any kind of successful relationship, because everything is a relationship, right? Brand loyalty, that's a relationship. Your friends, your family, your significant other, your kids, that's all relationships. Um, so when you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one, right? You erode the trust because people are left wondering, what does this person or brand truly stand for? Because when you fall for anything, I mean, when you stand for nothing, you fall for anything, right? Like, you're just trying to keep the status quo, and the lack of clarity can undermine your credibility and hinder the development of trust based connections. Uh, when you embrace your unique identity and express it authentically, I have trouble with that word. I don't know why. You become a magnet. People are drawn to you. I'll take Andy Frisella, right? He is very, very, very abrasive. Sean Whalen, very, very, very abrasive. But these people are 100% themselves, day in and day out. They're not bending the knee to anyone. I remember in the beginning of the pandemic is when I found Sean Whalen and Andy Frisella both, and they were both saying some very radical things out in the open. And but look at them now, both of them are, Sean Whalen's building this huge empire with Lions Not Sheep, and Andy Frisella runs several businesses. That dude is well off. He could just shut the door tomorrow and never be seen again. He'd be okay. But people are naturally drawn to those people who are confident in their beliefs and their values, right? Like, you have to have substance. There's a difference between virtue, having virtues, and virtue signaling. Like, when you're virtue signaling, dude, you're just saying something to I don't know why. Quick story on that. There's a chick, Isabel Brown, that I follow on the Instagram, and she made a post today about nerds. And if you own a lot, the end of it was like, if you own a late cyber green flag, if you own a magic wand from Harry Potter's land or whatever, super green flag. And if you find a nerd and he's, marry him. And she was talking about all these things that encompass the quote unquote nerd, right? Like playing video games and all this other stuff. And all that's great. But I asked a question. I said, well, can your nerd defend you or himself? But not talking, talking shit. It's a genuine question. Like, it's not cocky, it's confidence, right? Like, are, are you able to project something that will deter people from fucking with you? Because although you may live and let live, not everyone lives that ideology. So someone at some point is going to fuck with you. So I said that. I didn't say all that part after. I just said, it's confidence, not cocky. And somebody was like, "Oh, that there's a proper way to say it. Does he have the ability to defend you?" And blah blah blah. It's basically like trying to look good in front of for this person because she's a well-known conservative influencer. And I told him, I was like, "Look, dude, you keep virtue signaling any harder, and you're going to turn into a liberal." And I was like, "If you need a if you need a hand off your soapbox, I'd be glad to give you one." And he fucking deleted all his comments and then blocked me. Like, he was virtue signaling, and he was not authentic. He didn't feel that way, and when I called him out on it, he tucked his tail between his legs and fucking took off. You know, rather than aiming to for universal appeal, it's more effective and a better approach to focus on targeted engagement. I swear I have my own informed opinion, and that's what I'm doing here, right? Giving solutions to problems. Uh, so you have to identify and connect with your audience, whether in not just your audience, with your circle, right? That aligns with your values and your offerings and your mission. Is there a value exchange? If there's somebody in your group who is constantly taking, they don't take you serious, right? They are you are pleasing them because you grew up with them or whatever the story is of why they're still in your circle, right? That's what you're telling yourself. And really what you're doing is you're pushing better people away. You're keeping better people away from finding you by keeping that shit in your life. And the in this space, right? Most of this I'm talking about, social media and things like that. Like personalization is the key to creating meaningful connections. You have to be yourself. I don't have a huge circle of friends. I don't even have a bunch of people following me, right? But that's fine. The few people that follow me and interact with my content and message me on a daily, that's who I don't I'm not doing it for anyone, really. I'm just doing it because this is my journal. I don't like writing shit down, so it's taken me 38 years to get in front and to set this all up, right? Like I'm I'm not framing, I'm not tailoring. This is just my content. This is my service. This is my value that I'm trying to give back because I'm in a place where I feel like I should be able to, that I'm giving back to people. And my audience is people who connect with me, right? Who either are outspoken, saying the same things I'm saying, or feel the same things I'm saying and don't have enough courage yet to say the things, right? It builds trust and loyalty the way by being your actual true authentic self, not your fucking social media highlight reel, right? Being your authentic true self, right? So like in wrapping this up, like in trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. It's to me, it's a good little nugget of wisdom, in the world of business, in general life, if you're doing some kind of marketing for either one, because most of us are trying to turn our life into some sort of monetization, right? Or at least some sort of value exchange, instead of chasing universal approval, embrace your your uniqueness. And I say that in the tone of like, don't create a character. Um, I was doing a personal training uh, group, and they were like, find your avatar, be this person, be this character. And I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Like, I don't want to be a cheerleader. I am not a fucking rah rah, let's do fitness kind of person. So, no, that's not who the fuck I am. I set up my profile to be this, fun trainer, and like it just didn't feel good. So I changed it. I changed everything. And then they stopped the group stopped interacting with me because I wasn't doing things their way. Because yeah, that's great. Things will work out the way they work out. And I probably could have got a lot of customers from that, but I didn't feel I wasn't connecting with them because that's not who I am on the inside. Right. So yes, I stand for all the things that they were pushing, but the way they wanted me to frame it was not how I wanted to frame it. So by doing things, standing for something, right? Stand for something. Find your morals, find your virtues, find your values, and focus on engaging with your specific audience or surrounding yourself with that circle that is going to give you the same kind of value that you're giving them. And this inclusion thing, it's a myth. It's a myth. Not everyone belongs in your circle, right? By avoiding trying to please everyone, you'll not only avoid pitfalls of dilution and mediocrity, but you'll build trust, authenticity, and lasting connections with those people, professional, personal, significant others who truly resonate with your message. So get out there and be yourself and have some fucking courage to tell the people fuck off or I love you, whatever, however they like to hear it. And that's all I got for today. And thanks for listening. See you on the next one.